Hey guys, today, we enter a dimension where glitter explosions are legal. Tender talent shows come with legal hearings, and Elmore's reality is warped by one man's judgmental glare. Tung Tung Sahur. Imagine the school auditorium vibrating like a microwave full of soda cans, Darwin nervously beatboxing behind a velvet curtain, and Gumball whisper yelling, "This is either the greatest day of my life or a literal war crime." Now, let's ease into today's journey together. You sit in the front row of the packed Elmore Junior High auditorium. The stage is adorned with sequins, a disco jellyfish hovers above like it's auditioning too, and a glitter cannon misfires every 12 minutes. Elmore's Got Talent is in full swing, and you're ready for magic. And by magic we mean chaos marinated in jelly and detonated with enthusiasm. Out strides the special guest judge, Tung Tung Sahur. He doesn't walk. He emerges like a spiritual glitch. Cloaked in a fur-lined neon robe, he slams a gavel on the judge's desk with an echo that shatters Principal Brown's clipboard in half. "Let the judgments begin," Banana Joe screams. Not because he's scared, but because he stubbed his toe on a fog machine that suddenly appeared under his banana peel. It's fine. He peels off another layer like a professional. Tung Tung scans the crowd with one glowing eye. You can't tell if it's a contact lens or pure rage. Gumball leans toward Darwin and whispers, "I thought this was supposed to be a talent show, not a talent trial." Tung Tung slams the gavel again. No whispering in the courtroom of dreams. Nicole Watterson, sitting awkwardly in the parent section, raises a hand. This isn't actually a courtroom. Tung Tung sustained. The first act steps forward. Tobias, decked in spandex and glitter, launches into a dramatic interpretive dance titled, "Why My Feelings Smell Like Vanilla." His elbow spirals and pirouettes like he's trying to sneeze a poem. You expect applause. Instead, Tung Tung pulls out a scale. Not a metaphorical one, a literal scale. He places Tobias's shoe on it. Talent ratio 314 emotional ounces. Verdict unfulfilling. He slams the gavel. Tobias disintegrates emotionally and crawls off stage like a confetti slug. The crowd gasps. A goth girl with black lipstick screams, "The system is rigged." Gumball now raises a poster board that says 10 on one side and emergency exit on the other. He flips it to exit. Next up is Alan the floating balloon. He attempts to recite Shakespeare underwater while gently levitating inside a bubble machine. You are confused but moved. So is the janitor. Tung Tung whispers to his gavel. He has courage. He has buoyancy. But he misquoted Hamlet. Slam. Alan is sentenced to 20 minutes of mandatory emotional journaling. A chalkboard materializes. Alan starts writing in cursive day one. The gavel is watching me. Darwin bravely steps on stage next. He begins beatboxing with all the aquatic strength in his soul. You've never seen a fish spin in slow motion while rhyming slime with time. The crowd loses it. Tung Tung doesn't blink. Instead, he presses a button that summons a cloud shaped like Judge Judy. The cloud claps once. That's a yes from the cosmos, Tung Tung announces. Darwin passes, but he now has a legal obligation to wear a monocle at all school events. Behind the scenes, Carmen is stress-vomiting rose petals. Carrie the ghost floats beside her. I've never seen someone judged on metaphysical weight before. Backstage is pure chaos. Penny is transforming uncontrollably due to stress. She turns into a chainsaw, then a goat, then a PowerPoint presentation on crisis management. Meanwhile, Gumball is plotting. "I'm going on stage next," he tells Darwin, "but I'm going meta. I'm going to do an interpretive dance about Tung Tung's judgment. Inside his judgment. Like a dream inside a dream, but more tap dancey." Darwin. "You're going to get sentenced to theater detention forever. Worth it." Back on stage, Masami performs a rain solo where she cries actual precipitation and drowns a stage rat. Tung Tung nods. Tragedy is the cousin of talent. Approved. Masami bursts into tears again. Finally, someone gets me. Principal Brown rushes out holding a megaphone and a jelly donut. "Okay, folks, time to take a 10-minute break." Tung Tung denied. There is no break from excellence. He slams the gavel again. Lightning strikes a piñata in the back. It explodes into motivational quotes. One quote lands on your lap, "Believe in yourself," or else. You suddenly hear the faint sound of ukulele. Banana Joe's up next. He's wearing mime paint and a banana peel tuxedo. His act is titled "Peel the Noise." He plays an invisible ukulele while silently juggling invisible bananas. Nobody knows how it works. It's so confusing it's good. Tung Tung stares for 38 seconds. Then, he smiles. Abstract absurdity. Finally. Banana Joe is granted a golden pass 1 get-out-of-detention free ticket. He eats it. Gumball. Is it just me or did we all just join a talent cult? Darwin? I think I have a legally binding contract in my pocket now. The crowd starts chanting, "Judge, judge, judge." Tung Tung rises slowly from his judge's chair. I accept the burden of glory. Cue dramatic fog. Cue laser pigeons. Cue a broken disco ball falling into the orchestra pit. As he walks toward the stage center, he whispers, "I will now judge time itself. You blink." And the lights black out. The blackout lasts for 6 full seconds. Not because of drama, Darwin tripped over the extension cord. By the time the emergency lights kick in, the stage has changed. No longer a humble school auditorium, it's now a hybrid courtroom game, show arena hybrid, complete with a spinning gavel wheel, glow-in-the-dark lecterns, and a legal talent buzzer that makes dolphin noises when pressed. Tung Tung Sahur, now wearing a powdered wig made entirely of spaghetti bellows. Round 2, judgment by fire or emotion, whichever comes first. Banana Joe is still on stage, obliviously miming in a glass box that doesn't exist. Somehow he's winning over the audience. Darwin tries to clap, but misses his own hands. Gumball is furiously scribbling lyrics on his arm in Sharpie. You lean forward in your seat, popcorn forgotten, as the next act is announced. Next up, Gumball Watterson, and whatever this is. Gumball struts onto stage like it owes him money. He's wearing a cape made of cafeteria napkins and a top hat shaped like existential dread. My performance, he declares, is called The Verdict of Art. It's interpretive. It's personal. It's about you, Judge. Tung Tung objection. I am not art. I am a force of cosmic balance. Gumball exactly. Cue dramatic piano. Gumball begins flailing in a choreographed frenzy. He writhes, somersaults, and belly slides across the floor like an avant-garde platypus. He paints a giant on the stage with mustard. At one point, he makes eye contact with Tung Tung and mouths the word justice. Silence. Tung Tung stands, walks onto the stage. He reaches into his coat pocket, pulls out a single chicken nugget, and places it gently on Gumball's forehead. This, he whispers, is the rare case of meta-compliance. Gumball has passed. Darwin rushes the stage with a kazoo salute. Meanwhile, the crowd erupts, but not in applause and debate. Tobias shouts, "That wasn't talent. That was a mustard attack." Masami floats up to shout from the rafters, "Let him speak his truth." Leslie starts singing protest ballads. Alan begins distributing emotional consent forms. And then, like Destiny's badly timed sneeze, the gong is struck. Loud, violent, accidental. Banana Joe, in a moment of sheer mime commitment, pretends to hit the gong, but accidentally headbutts it. The sound reverberates through Elmore like judgment from the heavens. Pigeons outside fall from the sky. Inside, every audience member experiences an identity crisis. One teacher quits on the spot and becomes a llama whisperer. Tung Tung slams the gavel. This is rebellion. He turns dramatically, and I accept. Darwin runs up with a clipboard. No, wait. This isn't a rebellion. We just hit the gong too hard. Tung Tung raises a single eyebrow. It glows. Darwin adds, "We can work this out diplomatically. Maybe." With a group hug, a flock of paper doves flies out of Tung Tung's sleeve. Too late. The courtroom is now a battlefield. Banana Joe panics and starts miming a foxhole. Suddenly, the floor of the auditorium opens, revealing a trapdoor that definitely wasn't there before. From it rises a second stage, smaller but more dramatic, bathed in green light and smoke that smells like pine-scented justice. On it stands Principal Brown holding a clipboard that's already on fire. Okay. Let's calm down," he pleads. "Let's just do the next act." Carrie and her interpretive ghost choir. Carrie floats in silently. Behind her, a chorus of ghosts in choir robes harmonizes in a minor key, singing O Fortuna backwards, while levitating 6 inches off the ground. One ghost is juggling haunted maracas. The audience is stunned. Leslie weeps openly. Tung Tung is unmoved. Too much despair, not enough paperwork? Slam. Disqualified. Nicole, now furious from the parents section, storms up. "Excuse me, Judge Sahur, but this is a school talent show, not a spiritual tribunal." Tung Tung's cloak begins vibrating. "Incorrect. This is a crucible of dreams. And your son has passed. Would you like to contest his result?" Nicole freezes. "Proceed." Meanwhile, Carmen, who had earlier been vomiting petals, stands up and screams, "I've had enough." She marches to the stage and plants herself in front of Tung Tung. You are unfit to judge this show. What even are your criteria? Tung Tung opens a scroll. The 5 pillars of Sahur's judgment. Depth of emotional paprika. Invisible narrative structure. Tension with parental figures. How well you smell metaphorically. Carmen facepalms so hard she knocks her flower pot sideways. The room is split. Some cheer, others boo. A rogue kazoo goes off in the corner. Gumball sees the chaos and whispers to Darwin. If we don't act now, this becomes a full-blown talent civil war. Darwin too late. The drama club just built a barricade out of glitter cannons. And there it is. Across the stage, Anton, the piece of toast, declares an independent artistic state called New Performance Vania. He is immediately crushed under a stage light, but the sentiment lives on. Nicole takes charge. You, she points to Tina the T-Rex. Secure the backstage. Tina secure. You, she gestures at Penny, who's currently a disco ball. Spin as a distraction. Penny spins so fast she generates dubstep. Tung Tung doesn't flinch. He simply places a single hand on the talent buzzer. It moves like a cow. I welcome the storm, he intones. Then he presses the button. The stage transforms again. You blink, and the entire school has been reconfigured into a gladiator-style amphitheater. Audience members are suddenly wearing robes. Banana Joe now has a wig and an official-looking scroll titled Talent Bill of Rights. Tung Tung ascends a throne of chalkboards and broken dream catchers. Let there be performance judgment unbound. You glance to your left and see a sign Snack Bar, sponsored by the Home Economics Department. You glance to your right and see a kid juggling flaming pancakes. The Elmore's Got Talent show has officially entered its chaotic neutral phase. And you're not leaving. You're strapped in for the ride. You don't remember voting for this, but you're now seated in what used to be the orchestra pit, holding a foam gavel and a clipboard titled Junior Judge Adjunct Volunteer Guidelines. Next to you, Banana Joe's scribbling courtroom doodles of Darwinians tap dancing across fire. Elmore's Got Talent. It's now Elmore's Got Courtroom Combat Talent Trial Edition. At the center of it all, on his throne of existentially charged chalk, sits Tung Tung Sahur. He's donned a new cloak, this one sewn from detention slips, and lined with what looks like borrowed PTA meeting notes. He raises one gloved hand. I now submit myself for judgment. Record scratch. Even Gumball drops his mic. Wait, what? You can't just judge yourself. Tung Tung's self-reflection is the highest form of courage. Cue stage left, boom. An impromptu contestant steps forward, Idaho the potato. I would like to judge the judge. A gasp. Several students faint. One lunch lady screams, get the biscuit shield. Tung Tung nods slowly. Proceed. Darwin whispers to you. Did Idaho just spark a democratic movement? No, you whisper back. He just dared to ask, what if? Idaho clears his throat. Your criteria are unmeasurable. Your fashion is alarming. And your rulings are poetic nonsense. Tung Tung's eyes flash. You dare accuse me of whimsy abuse? I do. Then the potatoes start clapping. Literal potatoes. Someone in the gardening club throws a sack of them on stage in solidarity. Nicole Watterson jumps in to intervene, clipboard in one hand, fire extinguisher in the other. Enough. We need structure. I am declaring an emergency school talent judiciary assembly. She blows a whistle so hard it summons the janitor union. Now you've got a janitorial jury. Judge Sahur is visibly impressed. Finally worthy opposition. Gumball gets up from his popcorn throne and yells, wait a minute, if Sahur can be judged, then anyone can judge anything. Which means I judge Darwin's kazoo solo to be revolutionary. Darwin. Thank you, I've been practicing in the bathtub. Suddenly, judgment spreads like glitter lice. Carrie judges Banana Joe's emotional range. Penny judges the entire cafeteria's lighting design. Tobias judges the floor for being too judgmental. Chaos reigns. Tung Tung calmly sits cross-legged on air. I have opened the portal of performance perception. You are all awakened. Then he levitates upward and starts emitting Gregorian humming. But Nicole has had enough. Security, she barks. Cue Tina the T-Rex, who's now wearing a sash labeled Security Enforcement Talent Division. She tries to stomp the levitating Sahur, but hits the snack table instead. Pancakes scatter like judgmental frisbees. Tung Tung raises one pancake slowly to his forehead. Justice is syrup. Meanwhile, the student body begins organizing. Not to fix the situation. No, to join it. Carrie forms a rogue choir tribunal called the Harmonic Court. Banana Joe founds Mime Jury 7, where every ruling is pantomimed and absolutely no one understands what's happening. Leslie becomes a rogue performance reviewer named the Pedal Gavel. And then came the cult. It starts as a whisper. We follow Sahur. It's Carmen. Wearing a hood made of interpretive turtlenecks, she kneels before the judge's podium. Others follow. Soon, half the auditorium is chanting, "Perform and be seen." Gumball slaps his own forehead. This is a full-blown performocracy. We're gonna get graded for sneezing expressively. Carrie floats down from the rafters and hisses, "There's no going back." Elmore has transcended entertainment. We now live our talents. You grab your program which has rewritten itself in real time. Act 7. The Judging of the Judge. Featuring 17 lawsuits. One Macarena showdown and a confetti cannon pledge of allegiance. Darwin whispers, "Should we run?" No, Gumball replies grimly, "We escalate." So they do what any rational Watterson would. They stage an intervention. With jazz hands, Gumball walks right up to Tung Tung still levitating in a lotus pose and sings a soul-cracking Broadway-style solo titled, "The Trial of Too Much Judgment." I just wanted to dance. He's joined by Darwin on backup kazoo Penny as interpretive backup goat, and even Principal Brown, who dramatically rips off his suit to reveal a sequined onesie and performs a 12-second monologue about lost potential. The crowd weeps. Even the janitor wipes a tear with his mop. But Tung Tung, he opens his eyes. You pass. Silence. He descends, slowly touches the floor, and gently removes his robe. I hereby appoint you Gumball Watterson as temporary chief artistic arbiter of Elmore. Gumball. Wait, what? He's immediately handed a clipboard, a gavel made of glitter, and a sash that reads Chaos Intern. The cult cheers. Darwin faints. Nicole screams, "Absolutely not." But then Banana Joe hits the backup gong. Everything resets. Lights flash, fog billows, pancakes rain from the ceiling. A screen drops down from above and displays the words, "Final phase initiated. All judgments due." Tung Tung bows. "You have tasted the judgmental flame," he declares. "Now you must perform within it." Gumball. "Okay, but do we get a snack break?" Tung Tung's snack break is performance. Pancakes are a metaphor. As you stand amidst the glowing wreckage of what used to be a simple talent show, you realize something. This is no longer a contest. It's an art apocalypse, and you're part of the final act. You don't remember auditioning, but here you are center stage holding a kazoo in one hand and a suspiciously warm pancake in the other. The entire school has reconfigured itself into an operatic war zone. On one side, Team Reason, led by Nicole, fortified behind a pile of overturned desks and whiteboard shields. On the other team, Sahur cloaked in interpretive chaos, marching under a banner that reads, "All the world's a stage, and we are its unpredictable breakfast." And who's in the middle? Gumball, wearing a sash that says, "Chaos Intern." A fedora, made of marshmallows, and holding a gavel he clearly just bedazzled with actual pepperoni. He stands at the apex of the auditorium-turned-arena. "Ladies and gentlemen and unclassified performance organisms," he yells, "I hereby summon the finale musical showdown." Tung Tung Sahur appears levitating, obviously clapping with one hand while drinking metaphorical tea with the other. Let the curtain rise. Suddenly, orchestral music blasts through invisible speakers. You're not sure where it's coming from. Carrie's ghost choir, Masami's cloud body radio frequency, a haunted French horn. No time to figure it out because now, Gumball's Rebellion musical begins. It's Hamilton meets glitter vomit meets legal drama. Gumball bursts into a rap solo. "I was just a cat with a dream and a gavel. Now my school is at war and I'm wearing this satchel." Sahur's got flair, but he rules with confusion. So now we form judgment, in the name of fusion. Cue Darwin sliding in on a rolling chair, hitting a bass note on the kazoo so deep the floorboards wobble. He harmonizes. "We danced, we cried, we judged on sight, but now we fight for what feels right." The background dancer's Carmen's cult. They've joined the number-waving flags made of papier-mâché drama masks. Even Idaho the potato breakdances. He's surprisingly good at it. Meanwhile, Team Reason begins a counter-performance. Nicole enters stage left doing a flamenco routine fueled by pure mom rage. She claps so powerfully it generates shockwaves that dislodge ceiling tiles. Her lyrics. Structure, discipline. Rubrics that make sense. Not pancake metaphors or singing self-defense. Behind her, Principal Brown nervously tries to keep up with a xylophone solo while crying into a microphone. "I never signed the liability waivers." Then it gets weird. Tung Tung rises above both groups, arms spread as 1,000 origami gavels rain from the ceiling. He chants, "Judgment is a spiral, a moon made of sound. You cannot win the trial until you spin the ground." You hear the ground spin, like literally. Banana Joe, now in full mime armor, rides an invisible unicycle across the battlefield, honking his invisible horn in rhythm with the music. Carrie floats through the fog like a judge ballerina hybrid, holding a lantern that glows with metaphors. Suddenly, the laser pigeons return. Yes, those. They hover above the stage in formation, spelling out Act 4, Final Ruling Pending. And at that moment, you see Penny, now mid-transformation between goat disco ball and emotional tax accountant, step into the spotlight. She lifts a ukulele. "I wrote a song," she says. Everyone freezes, even Tung Tung. The ukulele chord strums once, then softly. We're all just talents trying to breathe in a world where pancakes can judge and leave. Maybe it's not about who wins or flops. Maybe we all need to just stop. You feel your chest tighten. Even Carmen's cult stops waving flags. A single tear slides down Masami's cheek cloud. Penny continues. You don't need a robe to see someone's light. You don't need a buzzer to say they were right. Maybe performance is just being seen. Tung Tung closes his eyes. "I have been judged," he whispers. He descends slowly, robe unraveling into silk confetti. He kneels, not metaphorically, literally, before Penny, before the school, before Gumball. "Performance is truth," he says. "But I forgot. Truth doesn't need a verdict." You blink, the room dims. Nicole steps forward, places a comforting hand on his shoulder. "No, but it does need a syllabus." The disco fog begins to fade. The origami gavels dissolve into tiny slips of extra credit. Banana Joe stops miming and just hugs someone. It's Darwin. Darwin is confused but okay with it. The janitors, still wearing judicial robes, for some reason begin sweeping up the pancake debris. The laser pigeons salute and exit through a skylight. Tung Tung removes his last cloak. Underneath, just a regular guy. Slightly glowing, sure, but regular. He turns to Gumball and says, "You intern of chaos have passed the hardest test, not performance but humility." Gumball swells with pride and then sneezes into a glitter cloud. "Sorry, allergy to moral lessons." Tung Tung bows one last time. "I shall now return to the realm of auditions never finished." "Nicole, wait, where is that?" He taps a gavel on the floor. A glowing stage trapdoor opens. You glimpse a jellyfish playing trumpet, a toaster doing ballet, a screaming violin made of soup. Tung Tung smiles. "You'd love it." Then he jumps in and disappears. Silence. You're left staring at the now calm auditorium. The audience exhales. Carmen takes off her cult hoodie. Principal Brown gently collapses onto a beanbag labeled, "In case of spiritual emergency." Gumball turns to the room and says what everyone's thinking. Did we just do a musical civil war over pancakes and judgment? Darwin, yes. Yes, we did. Nicole, no more talent shows, ever? You finally sit down. Your kazoo falls out of your hand. The house lights flicker back on. And a voice over the intercom says, "Please join us for cookies and an optional emotional debrief." You nod slowly. You'll need both. The cookies are oatmeal raisin. Of course they are. You chew in thoughtful silence while sitting beside Gumball, Darwin, and a now decultified Carmen, all of you wrapped in emergency glitter blankets passed out by Tina. The T-Rex now moonlighting as the school's post-theatrical trauma coordinator. Elmore Junior High is still buzzing, though it's no longer a riot of flying gavels and kazoo solos. Instead, students roam around the cafeteria-turned-recovery center, sharing emotionally raw performance critiques and sobbing into juice boxes. Nicole Watterson is at the front desk organizing a talent show accountability committee, while Banana Joe leads a yoga session he calls Downward Mime. You check the time. It's been 6 hours since Tung Tung Sahur dove into the trapdoor of infinite auditions. It feels like a decade. That's when the announcement comes over the intercom. Final curtain. Call all participants to the gym for one last performance. Groans echo from every corner. Gumball clutches his glitter gavel. I thought it was over. Darwin wipes frosting off his face. We're still in the epilogue, bro. Principal Brown nervously fidgets with a ukulele. It's not me this time. It's them. You head to the gym, which has been transformed into something halfway between an award stage and a spiritual support group. Lights dim. Fog machines wheeze dramatically. A giant sign above the stage reads, "Curtain Call Catastrophe, a post-credit scene." Carrie floats into center stage. We, the surviving performers of Elmore, invite you to our Healing Act Judgment-Free Jamboree. Music starts. A soft, clumsy, heartwarming melody played by Alan on harmonica and Idaho on the triangle. Leslie strums a harp made of spaghetti. Penny, back in full shape-shifting control, becomes a slow-motion lava lamp. No jokes, no evaluations, just expression. Then Carmen steps forward. No hoodie, just honesty. She takes the mic and speaks, not sings, not performs. Just speaks. "I followed Sahur because I thought performance needed rules, that it had to be measured, scored, approved. But turns out I was scared. Scared of not being good enough." A hush falls, even Tina sniffles. Then Carmen passes the mic to Banana Joe. He mimes a heartfelt speech. Everyone understands anyway. One by one, students take the stage not to impress but to share. Gumball recites a monologue that devolves into a fake British accent. Darwin plays a kazoo lullaby. Nicole reads a list of actual school rules that were broken and then burns it in a legal fire bucket. Finally, a spotlight hits center stage. You don't know how it happens. You didn't plan it. But suddenly you're walking out there. You, the quiet observer, the accidental gavel wielder, the emotional referee. You stand at the center of it all, surrounded by the aftermath of the greatest, weirdest, most unnecessarily legal talent show in Elmore history. And you speak. Today was ridiculous, beautiful, loud, confusing, overacted, and maybe perfect. The audience murmurs in agreement. You continue, kazoo now holstered. We judge too much. Or maybe not enough. But either way, we felt something. That counts for something, right? The crowd erupts into thunderous applause. No fog cannons, no glitter bombs, just a pure, honest standing ovation. And at that moment, the trapdoor opens one last time. But this time it doesn't suck anyone in. It gently releases a glowing scroll hovering down from the audition void like a divine syllabus. Nicole catches it, reads it, laughs out loud. It says, "Everyone passes, go eat more pancakes." Gumball. I knew it was about pancakes. Darwin, wait, does that mean we all won? Banana Joe shrugs. Or we all lost equally. Either way, it doesn't matter. Because Elmore got talent. In the weirdest, loudest, most flaming pancake way possible. And that's how you survived Elmore's Got Talent Judgment Day edition. You laughed. You cried. You maybe suffered mild emotional damage from a mime in full armor. But you also learned judgment isn't about buzzers or gavels. It's about seeing each other glitter, warts and all. So next time someone performs a pancake poem in your face, just smile, clap, maybe join in. Because in Elmore, that's just a regular Tuesday.